Drunk, I held my arch-rival tightly. She slid an heirloom ring onto my finger. "You're mine now." The crowd gasped as Miss Chi grabbed my restless hand. "You put it on the wrong finger, hubby." The guests went absolutely wild. Why? Because Chi Ching-ru and I were sworn enemies. I hated her guts, but nobody knew I was reborn. A massive fire ruined everything. It destroyed my face and voice. Everyone was disgusted by me, except her. She just held me, whispering, "Don't be afraid, Chen, I'm here." That's when I realized the truth. The person I hated most loved me deeply. Right before we died, she held me close, her freezing lips pressing against my ear, desperately pleading. I screamed that I loved her, but she couldn't hear me anymore. I woke up reborn right on the award ceremony's red carpet. There she was, looking impossibly stunning by her car. In that moment, she was my entire world. I ignored the cameras, sprinting down the red carpet toward her. I needed to say what she never heard. "I love you." The whole crowd froze. Even the viewers watching the live stream were stunned. Everyone recognized the woman I was holding. Chi Ching-ru, the eldest daughter of the Chi family. She was untouchable, dangerous, yet people willingly fell for her. The chaotic red carpet went dead silent. Only the camera flashes kept going. But while the physical crowd was quiet, the livestream chat was exploding. "What is Shi Chen doing? How dare he kiss Boss Chi? He's absolutely desperate for fame. First, he punches Shiyibai before the stream, and now he force kisses Miss Chi? Did he read too many novels and think this would make him viral? She's notoriously ruthless. She doesn't even take Shiyibai seriously. Who does Shi Chen think he is? He has a death wish. I heard they've hated each other since childhood. Grab your popcorn, this is gonna be good. I don't care. He kissed my internet wife. He should drop dead." Don't worry, she won't let him off easily. And it wasn't just the viewers losing their minds. Even my agent, Song Yi, nearly passed out. His jaw hit the floor. He actually knew about my history with Chingru. Sure, you could technically call us childhood friends. But we weren't the friendly kind. We were the fiercely toxic, hate each other kind. The kind where if she walked into a room, I'd want to spray disinfectant. It started because my crush, Momo, hated how popular Chingru was. So naturally, I blindly took Momo's side. I despised Chingru back then. Watching me now, Song Yi agreed with the internet. I'd lost my mind. Nearby, Shiyibai clutched his bruised face, a dark, mocking smile in his eyes. He was probably thinking, Chen is actually provoking her? That crazy woman is going to bury him. Meanwhile, Chingru's bodyguards stood completely stunned. They just exchanged confused looks. When I first sprinted over, they had tried to intercept me, but she stopped them with a mere glance. They assumed I had changed my tactics to creatively sabotage her, like maybe I had poison on my lips. Yet, nobody was more shocked than Chingru herself. In her mind, when Chen ran at me, I thought he wanted to humiliate me. I was curious. I really wanted to see what this exiled young master was trying to pull. But before she could get a sarcastic word out, I lowered my eyes and pressed my lips perfectly against hers. Her mind completely short-circuited. She just stood there, frozen, actually wondering. Did he mean to bite my neck and just miss? Should I be helpful? Should I say something to remind him he bit the wrong place? Chingru, I love you. My voice was breathless, sounding like it might just shatter, like it would scatter in the wind. Her heart skipped a beat, and her fingers pressed against my shoulder to push me away. That tiny movement sent the live chat into a frenzy. Here comes the slap! She looked up at me, taking in my overwhelming expression of finding something I thought I'd lost forever. Her chest tightened. While everyone was bracing for a brutal slap across my face, she just gently stroked my cheek. What's wrong, Chen? What happened? The internet lost it. What is going on? Shouldn't this famously untouchable woman be slapping this creep into next week? The crowd exchanged baffled looks as camera flashes went off like lightning. The live stream chat moved so fast it was unreadable, and the viewer count kept skyrocketing until the servers literally crashed. Fix the servers. If I don't see him get slapped, I won't sleep. But in that moment, I couldn't care less. Everything faded away. My whole world was just her. My voice was incredibly rough. I missed you. My arms tightened around her waist, clinging to her like she was going to vanish. Chingru, I missed you so much. Qingrao's mind was still racing. She even wondered if I had mistaken her for someone else. After a brief pause, she suddenly glanced around at the crowd of people, greedily soaking up the gossip. Instantly, everyone pretended to look at the sky or study the pavement. She knew this wasn't the place for a scene. Frowning, she grabbed my arm, trying to peel my hands off her waist. The rejection made me panic. I just hugged her tighter. Don't go. Please don't leave me. I'll listen to you from now on, I swear. Her flawless face softened into a helpless look. I'm not leaving you. Let's get in the car. But I stubbornly refused to let go. If I release you, you'll vanish. This feels way too much like a dream, one I don't ever want to wake up from. Then what do I have to do to make you let go? Kiss me, I begged. Chingru, please kiss me. Show me this is real. That first kiss happened so fast, I couldn't even process it. I needed to truly feel the warmth of her lips. I didn't want them to be as freezing cold as they were when she was dying beside me. Chingru pursed her red lips. In her mind, she was plotting. Chen usually only opens his mouth to piss me off. What triggered this sweet-talking routine? Is he trying to seduce me and make internet history? Is he building evidence just to ruthlessly mock me later for falling for his looks? Her lips curled into a smirk. Too bad. I've never been one to fall for a honey trap. Thinking that, she let out a soft laugh. Her slender fingers rested on my cheek, and she tilted her head up to kiss me. At that exact second, the stream servers finally came back online. The broadcast showed a breathtaking woman and a handsome man wrapped in an embrace straight out of a fairy tale. The desperate netizens didn't even wait to see the details before spamming the chat. They are kissing. Oh my god, she just slapped him with her mouth. The trending hashtags exploded across every single platform instantly. Some theories claimed I was blackmailing her with a dark secret. Others swore I had seduced her. A few even suggested I used witchcraft to brainwash her. Ultimately, everyone agreed on one thing. There was no way she actually wanted to kiss me. To the internet, we were parallel lines that should never cross. She was royalty, I was dirt. One guy commented, "Just wait until she snaps out of it. Shi Chen is going to die a horrible death. If he survives this, I'll spin 360 degrees and eat trash." While the internet was melting down, I was sitting in her spacious back seat, staring eagerly. She was lounging casually, her slender fingers gripping her phone. Annoyed by the endless stream of gossip callers, she finally just powered it off. She slowly turned to look at me, her tone relaxed but ice cold. "Let's hear it. Do you have amnesia, or did you just mistake me for someone else?" I didn't. I frantically shook my head, instinctively reaching out to hug her again. "Don't touch me. Sit properly." She had just convinced me to let go, and now I wanted another hug. Since there was no audience, I noticed a flash of genuine irritation cross her face. Why does he keep trying to hug me? Did he act like this with Momo? She wondered. My hands froze midair. My fingers, inches from her coat, slowly pulled back. I gave her my best pathetic, abandoned puppy look. She thought it wasn't me acting weird, but her sworn enemy acting out of character. She pressed her lips together, hiding her confusion. "You didn't mistake me? Then tell me, who am I?" I firmly declared, "You are Chi Qingru." Then I softly added, "You are my Qingru." Her heartbeat instantly raced. She suddenly pressed the back of her hand against my forehead, murmuring thoughtfully, "Did a fever fry your brain?" Her cool hand reminded me of her freezing final embrace. Clenching my fists, I whispered, "I do not have a fever." Qingru pulled her hand back. She crossed her arms and glared proudly. Tell me, what crazy idea did you cook up to torment me now?" Suddenly she paused. "If memory serves me right, tomorrow, there is a banquet with the Shi family. I heard that crazy woman He Momo bought rings to propose to Shi Yibai. Both families want this alliance. A month ago, I was kicked out of the Shi family. Shi Yibai was kidnapped and nearly killed, with all evidence pointing straight at me. My parents publicly disowned me in utter disappointment. My engagement to He Momo was shattered." Qingru dropped her smile, her gaze growing distant. "Shi Chen, are you trying to use me to make He Momo jealous?" Before stepping out, I saw a Chen punching Shi Yibai. I panicked. A Chen has a nasty temper, but he never acts out so wildly in a public place. He usually cares about the occasion. Back then, I assumed a Chen snapped over He Momo. I rushed out to back him up, only to give him an excuse to target me. Remembering those 2 brief kisses, Qing Rao's eyes grew totally cold. "Shi Chen, you risk everything for He Momo." She looked angry enough to toss me straight out of the moving car. Confused, I asked, "Who is He Momo?" "Never met her." Qingru paused for 2 seconds. She tapped the driver's shoulder. "To the 10th Psychiatric Hospital." Wenjing stayed silent for a moment. "Understood, third miss." Without hesitation, she spun the steering wheel straight toward the 10th hospital. I frowned deeply. Oh no. 7 days. She probably really thinks I have lost my mind. I am finally fully awake from the days of my rebirth. I am absolutely certain I have returned. But if faking amnesia makes her trust me, I am fine with that. I could not care less about those people. I only care about my Qingrao. In this world, I only need to remember her and love her. That is all. Qingru whispered softly near my ear. "I am giving you one last chance. Confess exactly what you are planning. Otherwise, once you go inside the 10th hospital, you are never getting out." The car was dim. I turned toward her cold, striking features. Before the fatal fire in my past life, I also believed her gaze was purely ice. Like an ancient unmelting glacier. Only later did I realize boiling magma hid beneath that freezing water. Her love was fierce enough to boil ice. Looking at her, I whispered softly, "I am not planning anything. I just want to love you." Qingru's carefully cold gaze shattered instantly. "Want to love me? How exactly?" Her lips curled in disdain. "Shi Chen, do you think I am an idiot?" She sneered. "Should I remind you what happened when we met at the club lobby this morning? How did you speak to me? I was completely lost." A flashback now? That feels like a lifetime ago. Let me think. I racked my brain until it clicked. This morning at the club, we really did run into her. She exited the elevator as I stepped in. Brushing past, I loudly told Song Li, "We need some air freshener. This elevator absolutely reeks." I even threw her a mocking snort. So unlucky. Remembering this, my eyes shifted. Qingru chuckled softly. "Looking at your guilty face, you definitely remembered." The very next second, my eyes turned perfectly innocent, acting like I had zero memory of it. "No, I really do not remember. What did I say to you?" Did I say you look absolutely gorgeous? That I really like you? That I love you? Qingrao suddenly wanted to hit something. She reached over and pinched me hard. Stop playing dumb. I am not buying it. That woman Himomo used to. Is that right? I rubbed my ear, teasing her. Then what exactly does Qingru like? Qingru scoffed stubbornly. I don't fall for anything. Before she could finish, I just leaned close to her lips. Qingru snapped back and shoved me away, blushing furiously. She gritted her teeth. I held her gaze, a playful spark flashing. Still no? I smoothly pulled her waist close, my eyes full of anticipation. I asked her softly, then I'll let you kiss me back, okay? Up front, Wenjing gripped the wheel. Oh my god, of course! Third miss, just kiss him already! Your spring has finally arrived. Qingru's gaze helplessly dropped to my lips. She pressed her red lips together. Let me kiss him back. The word yes was practically on her lips. But when she finally spoke, she just gritted out 3 harsh words. In your dreams. The bright spark in my eyes instantly shattered. I hung my head in defeat, looking totally miserable. Qingrao fought to suppress her racing heartbeat. I can't let myself get fooled by Chen. Does he think he can seduce me? She casually leaned back, putting some distance between us. Her voice held a tiny bit of jealousy she didn't even notice. Who exactly taught you those tricks? Was it Himomo? I felt totally lost. I already told you I don't even know Himomo. Why do you keep bringing her up? Who even is she? And besides, everything I know, nah, you taught me. Plus Himomo doesn't even like me. Qingru's patience was running completely dry. She glared at me, clearly annoyed. Shi Chen, exactly how long are you going to keep acting? My mood instantly tanked. I'm telling the absolute truth. I only love you. I only want you. Why won't you just believe me? Why was she so incredibly hard to win over right now? I honestly thought she would accept me the second I confessed. Did she really not love me yet? Qingru's sharp eyes locked onto mine for a few tense seconds. You really don't know Himomo? I nodded quickly. Right. Qingru curled her lips into a slight sarcastic smile. You only love me? You only want me? I nodded hard, looking right at her. Qingru seemed to suddenly get an idea and let out a wicked little laugh. Fine, I suppose I can believe you, but you have to prove it to me. How do I prove it? I blinked my eyes innocently and let out a chuckle. Do you think this isn't quite enough? Want some more alone time with me? Up front, Wenjing gripped the steering wheel and thought, wow, this Shi family heir is pretty smooth. Can our innocent third miss even handle this? Sure enough, Qingrao's face turned redder than my earlobes. Luckily, she barely managed to keep her cool on the surface. She called my name through tightly gritted teeth. I just stared back at her with total innocence. Fighting the urge to kick me out, she poked my forehead hard. Take all that absolute nonsense inside your head and bury it right now. I finally closed my mouth, totally reluctant. Qingru took a deep breath to steady herself. Then she ordered Wenjing to head to the Shiyue Hotel. That hotel belongs to the Qi family, and it's also where tonight's big awards ceremony is being held. After the show, they're throwing a massive celebration banquet. Qingru only agreed to attend tonight because her family was hosting it. But of course, the real reason was because she knew I was going. She figured I'd get bullied there and wanted to protect me, but now, she was probably regretting her kindness entirely, thinking I was an ungrateful jerk. She literally ground her teeth, just staring at me. Wenjing respectfully turned the car around. I looked over, totally confused. Why are we going back? Qingru leaned into her seat, returning to her usual lazy elegance, but her voice was dripping with pure sarcasm. To give you a perfect chance to prove yourself. Let's see how incredibly sincere your love really is. I frowned slightly. I still remembered my past life clearly. It was at this exact same celebration banquet at the Shiyue Hotel where I was, drugged and set up. When I woke up, I was lying right beside Qingrao. It was an absolute disaster. Back then, I completely broke down. My very first reaction was to scream and kick her out. And yet, she stayed totally calm. She actually promised to marry me, but I just coldly told her to leave. If I remember right, Himomo personally handed me that spiked drink. Under the dim lights of the car, I glanced down. Qingru shut her eyes, pretending to sleep. Her delicate face was incredibly captivating. Thanks to Momo, I used to think she was completely unapproachable. I finally realized I actually wanted her. The award ceremony was still happening. Those who couldn't care less were already chilling in the banquet hall, including plenty of rich kids just looking for drama. But the vibe was way off. Everyone kept sneaking glances at Himomo. After all, her lifelong lapdog had just run off with her biggest rival, Qingru, a girl who outclassed her in every single way. Nobody dared to joke around, terrified of setting Himomo off. She was definitely pissed. Slumped in the sofa, she furiously scrolled her phone, re-watching the trending video of me and Qingru over and over. The more she watched, the more she wanted me dead. She tossed her phone aside and snapped. Take down these posts. Her best friend Su Tian was right beside her, scrolling through the exact same thing. Su Tian looked totally shocked. Why take them down? Don't tell me you actually feel bad people are trashing Shi Chen. Himomo glared at her. What good does it do me to see him get trashed? It does nothing for you, but it helps Shi Yibai. The worse Shi Chen's reputation gets, the better Shi Yibai looks. Since you actually like him, why even care about Shi Chen? Momo looked totally annoyed by that. Su Tian froze up. When did I ever say I liked Shiibai? Su Tian was incredibly confused. Momo, what do you mean? You are not saying you actually like Shichen, right? Momo stayed completely silent. But that silence was the biggest answer of all. Su Tian quickly lowered her voice. Momo, you have been so close to Shiibai for years. You never even smiled at Shichen. Ask anyone around you. Ask any of our friends. Everyone assumes you like Shiibai. We all thought he was basically your boyfriend. Now you say you like Shichen? She couldn't help but mutter, are you totally crazy? Momo shot her a look. What do you know? She frowned. It is just because Shichen's temper is awful. I only did all this to teach him a lesson. He shouldn't think that, just because he is the eldest son of the Shi family, he can throw tantrums at me. She took a sip of red wine. He needs to know his place and learn to please me. Besides, now that his family has kicked him out, he will have to come crawling back to me in the end. Think he will throw a fit then? I am just training him. Su Tian was absolutely speechless. So being super sweet to Shibai and ice cold to Shichen all these years was just to make him obey you? What kind of twisted game is this? She was so shocked she almost rolled her eyes. But aren't you supposed to propose to Shibai tomorrow? Momo replied slowly. My husband will only ever be Shichen. Su Tian was completely speechless. After a long pause, she warned her, but he is clearly not coming back to you. He went straight to Qingru. Momo played with her glass. Do not end up losing everything and training a husband for someone else. That just proves he still needs more discipline. He is not obedient enough yet. He probably heard about my proposal to Shibai tomorrow. That is why he beat him up and ran to Qingru. He thinks doing this will make me change my mind. She scoffed. Shichen is such an idiot. Qingru knows he is my lapdog. Why would she ever give him the time of day? He is just embarrassing himself. She took a careless sip of wine. Don't worry, it won't be long before he comes crawling back, begging on his knees. Just seconds later, the heavy banquet hall doors were slowly pushed open. The people inside all looked over. A stunning woman with an undeniable presence strolled right in. And then everyone saw me walking in right beside her. Momo instantly sat up straight, locking her eyes on me. Qingrao smiled. She looked right at Momo, then slowly intertwined her fingers with mine. We sat down on an empty sofa. Whether she meant to or not, we were sitting directly opposite Momo, with just a dozen meters between us. The hall went dead silent. Momo called out in a sweet voice, Chen, get over here right now. Qingru flashed a gorgeous smile. Leaning back lazily into the sofa, she asked me softly, you want to go over? She was still holding my hand. I shook my head, pretending to be confused. Don't know her, not going. Every single person heard that, including Momo. Her cheeks turned bright red. Chen, I will give you one last chance. Come here. Qingru's eyes flashed with mischief. She leaned close to my ear and whispered, didn't you want to prove you love me? Her warm breath made my heart hammer in my chest. She let out a soft hum. So do you dare to kiss me right in front of Momo? As soon as she said it, she saw my eyes light up. Suddenly, she felt a bad feeling about this. Sure enough, the very next second I kissed her without a single ounce of hesitation. Gasps echoed around us. The banquet hall went even quieter. How dare he? How many times is this today? Even if he really wants to make Momo jealous, isn't he worried about pushing too hard and completely enraging her? A woman's scoff echoed in my ear. Qingru snapped back to reality. What is the princess of the He family planning to do? Qingru caught sight of it from the corner of her eye. Momo had already stood up, clearly ready to storm over to us. But another woman blocked her path. It was Qingru's friend, Song Wanwan. When we first walked in, she and her girls wanted to say hi, but seeing me right behind her, they decided to hang back and watch. I saw the trending posts. I just wish I had been there. Didn't expect to catch a live show right here. Haha. While Song Wanwan was amazed, she was keeping a close eye on Momo. Sure enough, without a second thought, she stepped right in front of Momo. Are you kidding? Let this crazy Momo ruin Qingru's good time? Absolutely not happening. A mocking smirk crept onto Momo's lips. Yeah, right. Get out of my way. Song Wanwan snorted coldly. I move just because you say so? What about my pride? Momo glared at her furiously. I am going to say it one more time. Move. Song Wanwan shrugged, flashing a wicked grin. Nope, what are you going to do about it? Momo's brow furrowed in anger. She raised a finger pointing it right at Song Wanwan's face. Song Wanwan took a step back. Keep your hands to yourself. I hate having fingers pointed at me. The tension in the room spiked instantly. Nobody dared to breathe. That was when I finally realized what Qingru meant by proving myself. She didn't believe I actually loved her. She thought I was just using her. She figured I wouldn't dare kiss her in front of Momo. Well, surprise. I would gladly do it. Qingru watched the drama unfold. She spoke up softly. Complete silence hit the room. Dozens of eyes turned to Qingru. Her voice was calm, but laced with ice. Do not mess up my venue. Everyone felt like a bucket of cold water had been dumped on them. After all, this was Qi family turf. Causing trouble here would be a nightmare. People glanced at Momo, silently asking what to do next. Momo kept her eyes dead set on me. Su Tian suddenly had an idea and yelled, Shichen, are you blind? Momo is being bullied. Get over here and help her. Everyone whipped their heads back toward us. even Ching-ru. Enough. You really want to put on a show in front of all these people? I kept my head down pretending I hadn't heard Su Tian. Ching-ru pressed her lips together. Did my words just hit a nerve? Momo looked like she had reached her absolute limit. Ever since I walked into that hall, I hadn't given her a single glance. I was never like this before. In the past, if she was in the room, my eyes were always glued to her. I could tell she was starting to panic, realizing us finally slipping out of her control. She gritted her teeth. Chen, if you are done throwing your little tantrum, get over here. We can forget today ever happened. I will let it slide. Hearing that arrogant, commanding tone of hers, I finally looked up. It was the very first time I had looked at her all night. After 2 seconds, I stood up and started walking toward her. The anger in her eyes instantly vanished. A look of pure triumph washed over her face. I knew it. Chen is just doing all this to make me jealous. People exchanged nervous glances. Nobody said a word, just instinctively stepping aside to clear a path for me. Song Wanwan hesitated for a second. She could easily block Momo, but there was no real reason to block me. She rolled her eyes at Momo, shook her head helplessly, and stepped out of the way. This guy has terrible taste. How does Ching-ru lose to this spoiled brat from the family? Ching-ru puffed her cheeks slightly. She pressed her lips together and looked away, tapping her foot gently on the floor to keep her cool. Picture this. We're about to unpack a wild night together. She fought the urge to grab me, probably thinking, I say one harsh word and he pales. He crawls right back to her. What an absolute idiot. She figured my little act today was just flawless. I found out, later. It left her dazed, sparking a tiny hope that I finally noticed her. But she brushed it off, helping me one last time. Then, Ching-ru stood up. She did not even glance my way, just turned and started walking out. She barely took 2 steps when someone gasped behind us. Good lord. Chen. Momo was in absolute shock. I turned to see her pointing at me, demanding I repeat myself. So I did. I will never like you. I despise you. Then, flashing a huge smile, I turned to Ching-ru and asked, so that is he Momo? I told her I despise her and to stop causing drama. Was that okay, Ching-ru? Her heart definitely skipped a heavy beat. She wondered if I really had amnesia. Seeing her frozen, my mind raced. I faked a pained expression and reached out, whining that my leg was cramping up. Ching-ru, come help me up. Let's see how this plays out. She stared at me in total silence for a few seconds. Then, with everyone watching, she walked right over. She didn't say a single word. She just draped my arm over her shoulder and held me steady. I beamed at her, while Momo ground her teeth, glaring daggers at us. Ching-ru, where are you taking him? He belongs to me. Momo's panic was obvious. She knew that if she let Ching-ru walk out of here with me today, she would lose me forever. Ching-ru just tilted her head. I watched the icy glare in her eyes melt away, replaced by a highly satisfied smirk. She announced from now on, he is mine. Her thoughts must have been racing. He walked to me on his own. Amnesia or manipulation, he has no way back now. Her beautiful smile bloomed perfectly as she held me close. I happily leaned into her as we left, but Ching-ru still dragged me to the hospital. She wasn't taking any chances. She wanted to see if my brain was totally broken. Once inside the car, I kept trying to snuggle up beside her, but she stayed ice cold, snapping at me to sit properly. My mouth twitched. Ching-ru, do you hate me hugging you? You are being so cold right now. Such a cruel woman. She leaned back into her seat and asked casually, did you cling to Momo like this too? Like you had no bones? Always throwing yourself at people. I frowned, grumbling softly. Why do you keep bringing her up? She just stared out the window, done talking. I bet she wondered if I was obsessed with Momo. You chased that girl for years. Have you really forgotten? Once we reached the hospital, she ordered a full workup for me. Even psychiatry. I was completely speechless. Anything to put her mind at ease, I guess. The physical tests were fine, but the psychiatric evaluation took forever, loaded with endless questions. No matter what they asked, I played dumb. The only time my eyes lit up was when he mentioned Ching-ru. The doctor looked deeply conflicted. He scribbled 3 words on the medical report and handed it to Ching-ru, flashing an incredibly awkward smile. He handed her the file. Don't worry, his mind is perfectly normal. No major issues at all. Just a tiny little quirk. I trailed right behind him. Turns out this doctor and Ching-ru went way back. He glanced over his shoulder, giving me a knowing grin before telling her he was busy. I quickly thanked him, waiting until his door shut, before approaching Ching-ru. I put on my most innocent face and asked what the results were. She stared at the paper, expression unreadable, and shoved it towards me. Read it yourself. I immediately checked the bottom. The final diagnosis? No physical or mental disorders. Patient's behavior is driven purely by romantic infatuation. Fully competent. I blinked, looking confused on purpose. What exactly does this mean? She sighed loudly. It means you are lovesick, you idiot. I nodded eagerly, failing to hide my absolute joy. That doctor really knows his stuff. Meanwhile, Ching-ru anxiously scanned the medical report from top to bottom. There really was nothing wrong with me. She must have thought, if this is all a calculated act, what is his endgame? If it is not about Momo, why would he throw away his pride to approach someone he claimed to hate? And if he is not acting, can a guy really change overnight? She patted my head, searching for hidden lumps. Finding nothing, she carefully asked, "Did you get your head smashed by the elevator doors this morning?" I gave her the most deadpan look, really subtle sarcasm there. I sighed, asking gently, "Why is it so hard to believe I am actually falling for you? Stick with me here." You can see why she doubted it. She pulled away. Honestly, even I didn't believe she loved me back then. Not until the fire. I looked her dead in the eye, my voice turning dead serious. "I've always had feelings for you. It didn't just start today. Always." Her eyelashes fluttered in pure shock, confused by that word. I kept my gaze soft. "I was just too scared to get close. You were so perfect, yet so distant. I never felt good enough for you." I let my voice trail off. Qingru's delicate eyebrows knitted together. She let out a breathless laugh. "Don't you dare play the victim, Shi-Chen. You were the one freezing me out." I defended myself. "Hey, I was just a tragic lover driven to despair." She ground her teeth. "Save the sweet talk. It won't work. And stop trying to change the subject." My mouth twitched. "Can't you just let me win once? I was genuinely trying to confess my feelings to you." She stayed silent, swallowing her frustration, before turning on her heel. I just stood there, watching her walk away. When she didn't slow down, I called out her name. "Qingru." She froze and glanced back. I blinked at her, dropping my voice into a pathetic whine. "Qingru, my leg is killing me." She instantly knew I was playing games again. She scoffed internally, telling me to stay put. "Suit yourself." Then she stormed off again. I stayed totally frozen, completely silent. She made it straight to the elevator doors before closing her eyes in defeat. Pivoting sharply, she marched right back, hissing into my ear. "Shi-Chen, I must have owed you big time in a past life." I chuckled, throwing my arm around her shoulder. I leaned in, brushing her cheek slightly, before whispering back, "No, I am the one who owes you everything." Her lingering annoyance faded, just a fraction. She let out a cold huff. "If you owe me, shouldn't you carry me? Since when does the debtor get to act high and mighty in front of the one holding the cards?" I looked at her completely seriously. Actually, collecting a debt is incredibly tough business. The bigger the payout, the harder the hustle. So the creditor needs to sweet-talk the debtor, keep them happy, and stick close, so the cash finally flows. She let out a soft snort, shaking her head at my logic. I leaned closer to her ear. "I owe you a massive debt, so you are stuck with me for life. That way, I have an entire lifetime to slowly pay back my beautiful Qingru. Sound like a deal?" We stepped into the elevator. She looked up, locking her gorgeous eyes right onto mine. "Shi-Chen, do you have any idea what a lifetime actually means?" "Of course I do." I held her gaze, answering without hesitation. "It means never leaving. Sticking together until we are old and gray." Right now, Qingrao and I live in the exact same building. She is right upstairs. When the Shi family kicked me out, Song Yi found this place for me. I only found out later that Qingru owned the building and secretly slashed the rent just for me. She walked me straight to my door. I pouted, asking if I could just crash at her place instead. She shot me a warning glare, telling me to behave. I sighed, reluctantly shuffling inside, constantly glancing back. She stood by the elevator, arms crossed in absolute disgust as I dragged my feet inside. I couldn't see it, but the second my door clicked shut, her icy mask melted into pure excitement. She fought a massive grin. Tonight was an absolute roller coaster for her. Looking back, her emotions were totally all over the place. Even then, she couldn't stop replaying what I said in the elevator. Never leaving. Sticking together until we are old and gray. You and I both know the feeling. She actually thought she was dreaming. Little did I know, my actions tonight finally shattered the walls she had spent years building, letting all her suppressed love completely overflow. Picture this. Heaven knows how hard she fought the urge to bring me home. Qingru glanced at my closed door, then headed upstairs to wash up. Suddenly, a sharp pain hit her hand. She gasped, almost dropping her rinsing cup. Not a single mark on her skin, but the sting lingered. Qingru shut off the tap and left. She sat on the couch, watching her hand as the pain slowly faded. She closed her eyes, then the doorbell rang. She opened them, instantly spotting my goofy face on the monitor. Qingru sighed heavily. "Chen, can't you let me catch my breath?" She chuckled at herself. "Whatever, I wanted him here anyway." She walked over and opened the front door. "Shi-Chen, do you know what time it is?" she asked. Seeing I was still in my old clothes, she wondered what I'd been doing. I just stood there, pitifully holding out my hand. Qingru, furball scratched me. The fresh red mark was painfully obvious. She stared right at the wound, her heart skipping a sudden beat. Was that the exact spot where she felt the phantom pain earlier? What a crazy coincidence. Snapping back, she asked if I'd cleaned it. I shook my head. She frowned. "You own a cat and you don't know how to treat a scratch?" True, I'd had furball for 4 years. He was all I took when I left home. But he's never scratched me before, I argued. Qingru didn't bother arguing. She just grabbed my wrist and pulled me inside. A smile flashed in my eyes, but when she glanced back, I instantly looked like a kicked puppy again. "What is it?" she asked. My acting was completely flawless. She pulled me straight into the kitchen, turned on the faucet, and gently held my hand under the cold running water. I flinched as the water stung the cut. Holding my hand, she suddenly trembled. A weird, bad feeling washed over her, because in that exact second, her own hand throbbed again. She stared hard at my scratch. It wasn't deep, just broken skin and a little blood. Taking a breath, she pushed the crazy thoughts away. I'll have someone come give you a rabies shot, she said softly. I nodded. We were standing incredibly close. Looking down, I studied her tightly knit brows and beautiful face. My heart stirred. Feeling my intense gaze, she awkwardly adjusted her shirt. I shot her a look, stingy. She stayed quiet for a moment, then finally asked, why did your cat scratch you? You've had him for years. Why turn on you now? Especially since I personally took him to get fixed, she added. I muttered, I don't know. I swear my house is haunted. She looked completely speechless. My excuses were getting ridiculous. She thought I was just making things up. But I stared at her, totally serious. He probably saw a ghost and lost his mind. Seriously, I don't dare go back there. He's vicious now. The second he sees me, he just goes completely crazy. It really freaked me out. I think Furball knows something is wrong. Qingru quietly listened to my wild story. And? She asked. I looked at her with hopeful eyes. So, can I crash at your place tonight? She sighed deeply. Shi Chen, how did I never realize you were this shameless? I raised my hand. I swear I'm telling the truth. If you don't believe me, come downstairs and see for yourself. She stared at me for a few seconds. Remembering that bizarre phantom pain, she finally nodded. Fine. She walked toward the living room. That's enough rinsing. Dry your hand. I'll disinfect it. She grabbed the first aid kit, took my hand, and dabbed iodine on the cut. It burned instantly. Her fingers gripping the cotton swab twitched. That strange shared sensation of my pain was getting clearer. She looked up at me. Does it hurt? I nodded, whispering. Just a little. She already knew exactly how little it hurt. Tossing the swab, she sighed. Let's go check out your apartment. As soon as we walked in, I practically hid behind her back. Qingrao looked at me helplessly. This is your own house and you're hiding? My expression was dead serious. He's genuinely vicious now. Earlier today, Furball was fast asleep on the couch. I stopped talking, lost in thought. I had sat beside him, gently rubbing his fluffy head. I hadn't seen him in lifetimes. Because in my past life there was a massive fire, my cat didn't make it out. Stick with me here, this gets wild. He woke up, nuzzled my hand, but then his eyes went wide. He puffed up into a spiked ball. Before I could pull away, he slashed my hand. I panicked and backed up. Furball arched his back, glaring at me like a predator. When he lunged, I just instinctively ran straight upstairs to your place. Now, standing at my open door with the lights still on, Qingrao could tell I wasn't lying. She stepped into the entryway and immediately spotted the cat. He was just spinning in happy circles on the floor. She turned to me in total disbelief. This is what you call vicious. Before I could answer, Furball heard us. The playful cat instantly turned into a monster, arching his back and baring his teeth at me. I instinctively grabbed her hand and shielded her with my body. See? I told you, I yelled. As Furball prepared to charge, she quickly pulled me out of the way, her voice turning totally calm. Furball stopped in the hallway. I gripped her hand tightly. He's a cat. He can't understand you. We need to leave. Right now. I'll have someone take him to the vet tomorrow morning. But right then, Furball locked eyes with Qingrao. He completely froze. The wild fury in his eyes just vanished, and his spiked fur smoothed out. It was like he had just found a long-lost family member. He rubbed against her legs, meowing softly, acting like a total baby. Qingrao laughed, thinking the cat acted exactly like me. Honestly, I think he listens much better than you do, she teased. I was totally speechless. What a little traitor, I muttered. I raised him from a kitten, fed him every single day. And this is how he repays me. Qingrao just smiled, clearly highly amused. All right, let go of me, she said, but I kept holding her hand. She turned to look at me. I leaned in, gently brushed my lips against her cheek, and then quickly pulled away. A brief flash of disappointment crossed her mind. That idiot Shi Chen stole a kiss again. She bent down, scooped up the purring cat, and sat on the sofa, gently running her fingers over his head. She checked him carefully for any issues. Furball was completely docile in her arms, letting her inspect him. Seeing the cat finally calm down, I decided to walk over. But the very second I took 3 steps, his head snapped up and he hissed violently at me. I froze. Qingrao frowned, giving his head a light tap. Who are you acting tough with? Furball let out a pathetic little meow and deflated, sinking back into her lap. But his eyes stayed locked on me, full of pure hostility. She looked up at my incredibly frustrated face. Her fingers curled slightly against the cat's fur as she watched me. I checked him over. He's perfectly fine, she said. Then why is he so mean to me? I asked sadly. It's like he doesn't even recognize me anymore. She lowered her gaze, thinking deeply. Maybe the problem wasn't the cat, but the man standing right in front of her. Qingrao wasn't superstitious, but she knew cats were highly sensitive creatures. What on earth had I done to make Furball so terrified? Or worse, was the person standing here really the Shi Chen she knew? That sudden thought made her heart race. She quickly set the cat on the floor, giving him a gentle tap to send him away to play. Furball refused, jumping right back onto the couch beside her. She ignored him and looked up at me. Reaching out her hand, she said softly, "Come here." I took 2 quiet steps forward and held her hand, letting her pull me down next to her. She leaned her body in close to mine. My eyes widened in surprise. This was the very first time today she had actively gotten this close to me. Her fingertips gently tilted my chin up, forcing me to look at her. Don't move, she whispered, her voice slightly shy. Let me look at you. Our faces were inches apart, close enough to see our reflections in each other's eyes. What are you looking at? I asked. Her small hand gently stroked my cheek. You and I both know my secret, and right then, I swore she had figured it out. Picture this with me. She looked at me, cheeks flushed. Chen, it's just us now. I barely caught her whisper before Ching-Ru slowly leaned in closer. Still want a kiss? She asked, her voice soft. Her sweet breath brushed my skin, lips inches from mine. My breath hitched. I saw genuine care in her eyes. I knew that look well. In my past life, she looked at me exactly like that. Soon after, a leaked video went viral. While the internet debated our relationship, another bombshell dropped. Rumors hit that Ching-Ru was marrying the Su family's second heir. The families had agreed months ago. Su Muhei even posted online, heavily implying that my bad karma was catching up. Everyone knew he meant me. The public backlash was absolutely brutal. Even though the trending topics vanished quickly, Su Muhei deleted his post, and Ching-Ru personally issued a clear online statement. She publicly stated she was the one chasing me, denying any ties to Su Muhei. But nobody bought it. The intense media scrutiny suffocated me, and the mounting pressure finally broke me. Even my own parents grew distant and cold. Her gaze turned completely alienated and repulsed. I was drowning in agony back then. With nowhere to channel that pain, I blindly unleashed it. I took everything out on Ching-Ru. She looked at me just like she is now. Back then, I mistook her deep care for pity. Years later, I finally recognized her gentle devotion. It was years of unspoken love. She had loved me for so long. Staring at her now, I totally froze. She bit her lower lip. Don't want a kiss? She murmured. I snapped back. My hands instinctively pulled her close. No, it's not that. Then kiss me, she whispered, sounding surprisingly shy. I want you to. My ears burned hotly, but the bitter memory still lingered. I needed to clear the air about my past life. Gently, I pushed her back. She looked up, slightly annoyed by the interruption, but I didn't hesitate. Are you and Su Muhei getting engaged? Ching-Ru blinked, stunned. Who is Su Muhei? I sighed heavily. She had explained this before. They had zero connection. Their families forced one date, and she flatly rejected him right away. But today, the internet was already buzzing about us. Even though I dodged the setup this time, my past life taught me what happens next. Tomorrow her fake engagement rumors will explode online. Then Su Muhei would post again. I had to kill this scandal right now. You can't wait for a PR crisis to spiral out of control. Nobody believes late apologies anyway. I shot her a warning look. The Su family heir. He flew back before the holidays. You literally went on a blind date with him, yet you claim you don't know him? Honestly, I actually saw that exact date happen. I bumped into them by pure chance. When Su Muhei and I walked out of the VIP room, I glared at her across the restaurant. I grumbled internally about her always showing up with handsome guys. It really rubbed me the wrong way. Looking back, I was totally jealous. She was on a date, yet now she plays dumb about his identity. Frustrated, I immediately tried to pull away from her. She held me gently. Chen, be good. Then her eyes lit up. Oh, you mean Su the Second? That stung even more. You sure call him affectionately. So he gets a cute nickname, and I just get my full name? She sighed helplessly. Literally everyone calls him that. I never bothered learning his real name. What else was I supposed to say? He grew up overseas and just moved back recently. He barely knows anyone in the local elite circles. We met exactly once. I swear I didn't remember his actual name. I just knew the rumor. Everyone just calls him the Second. She rubbed her soft cheek against my chest as she spoke, a teasing smile in her voice. Anyway, if that nickname is too intimate for you, would you rather I call you Eldest She from now on? That shut me up completely. Eldest She sounded terrible. I dropped it. So what actually happened on that blind date of yours? She pouted slightly. Does one quick meeting count as a blind date? I sighed. My grandma practically forced me to go meet him. But driving to the restaurant, I had no clue it was a setup. The second I got there, I rejected him. Her story matched my past life memories perfectly. I frowned. And your family? They respected my choice. The Chi family doesn't need strategic business marriages anyway. My parents always put my happiness first. My grandma arranged it because she was best friends with his grandmother. They drifted apart, but when his family pushed, my grandma just wanted to save face. It wasn't a real alliance. Let's look at the facts together. They truly had zero connection. I felt deeply relieved. Still, we had to stop his upcoming post. How? I missed a detail. She stared at me, visibly confused. You've been acting so strange lately, Chen. You're still you, but something feels off. She tilted her head, glancing down at Furball, lounging lazily beside us. The cat's glare remained entirely hostile toward me. She pouted, looking back up. That date was ages ago. You glared at me across the room. Did you honestly think I didn't notice? Why bring it up so suddenly? Annoyance flashed across her beautiful face. Are you just finding cheap excuses to reject me? Are you done pretending, Chen? I looked straight into her eyes, letting my tone soften completely. I'm not pretending. Then prove it, she challenged, stepping closer. Come here, Chen. If you're too scared to kiss me, then I'll just have to kiss you instead. I was completely done holding back. She was the one invading my space anyway. Before I could speak, she leaned in, her nose brushing my cheek. My heart raced. This kind of raw, tender affection felt entirely different from my previous life. I never experienced this gentle side of her back then. Suddenly the cat beside her went absolutely crazy, rubbing aggressively against her legs and throwing a massive tantrum. She turned to scold the cat, and I glanced down too. The second our eyes locked, it hissed viciously. She frowned, scolding it softly. "Furball, stop being a bad kitty." It looked incredibly pathetic. Feeling uneasy, I finally muttered, "I really shouldn't stay here anymore." Sensing my shift in mood, she grabbed my hand to leave. Seeing us move, the cat instantly leaped to the floor. It tried to follow, but one sharp look from her stopped it cold. It meowed, lying down to glare at me pitifully. It was my cat, all right. We shared the exact same stubborn glare. She ignored it. As the door clicked shut, I glanced back into the living room. Furball was acting completely erratic, yet couldn't stand seeing us close. Maybe the cat could actually sense that I wasn't the same person anymore. She led me straight into her bedroom. I leaned in, whispering, "I told you that Furball was vicious." She glanced back playfully. "So what? Should I just get rid of it?" she teased, walking toward the kitchen area. Hearing that made me frown. I had raised Furball for 4 solid years. It was an anonymous birthday gift left by my door, with a simple happy birthday card. I had asked absolutely everyone, and nobody claimed it. My friends actually laughed at the sender for gifting such a basic stray cat. They totally forgot my childhood obsession with cats. My first pet was thrown out when Shiibai arrived, because the precious new heir was allergic to fur. Now I knew she was the secret gifter all along. I couldn't abandon it. But honestly, keeping it just didn't make sense anymore. I watched her back as she poured water, and an idea hit me. How about I move in here? Song Yi can stay downstairs and foster the cat. Once Furball stops hating me, I'll finally move back. She paused her pouring and turned around, holding the glass with a wicked smirk. Why don't you just ship the cat to Song Yi's place? I lied with a totally straight face. Furball is deeply territorial. Moving him would cause immense stress. He would literally get sick. Her lips curled into a knowing smile as she handed me the water. So you aren't territorial? I took a long sip. Nope, I don't care about the place. I only care about the person. I flashed my brightest smile. With you around, I sleep perfectly. I'll be an absolute angel. Her voice was dangerously soft. Shi-Chen, we locked eyes. Then, her pale fingers brushed my ear, giving it a playful tug. You're like a completely different person. You and I know she was actually right. My grip on the glass tightened in pure panic. I barely managed to force myself to stay calm. Wow, your imagination is wild. I felt a sudden wave of panic. I don't care. I'm staying right here. If you kick me out, I'll sleep right outside your front door. After saying that, I turned toward the living room. I was so scared, he would see right through me. If he found out I was completely different now, would he also start distancing me? But the moment I turned around, his arms wrapped tightly around my waist. Before I could even react, his forehead rested against mine. Nobody knew this was a scene I could never have even dreamed of. Chen always used to push me away. His eyes were only ever on Himomo. Every time I saw Chen looking so incredibly happy beside her, I desperately wanted to ask what he actually liked about her. I was definitely just as good. No, wait, I did ask him once. Right after Himomo pushed him away again, I asked him half joking what he even saw in her. You might as well just like me instead. I clearly wasn't any worse than her. But he just said, I simply don't have those feelings for you. For so many years, I would often think to myself, Chen, if you could just give me a fraction of the gentleness you give her, I'd be the happiest person alive. And right now, it truly felt like a beautiful dream was suddenly coming true. Chen was standing right in front of me, saying he loved me, saying he wanted to spend his life with me, that he wanted to be close to me. But a few seconds later, a noise suddenly came from the front door. Someone was coming in. Before we even saw them, we heard the voice. Chingra, what is going on this late at night? Why do I have to come over to give you a rabies shot? The voice paused heavily, followed closely by a loud gasp. The instant that voice echoed out, I grabbed Chi Qingru and pulled her straight into the kitchen. Song Wanwan stood frozen in the entryway, watching 2 living people vanish into thin air. She had seen exactly what Qingru was doing just a second ago. Oh boy. This was totally different from just hugging a pet. She never expected to catch Chi Qingru red-handed in a moment like this. Just then, Chi Qingrao walked back out of the kitchen and shot Song Wanwan a massive eye roll. Song Wanwan gave a very suggestive smile. I absolutely did not see anything at all. You two just carry on, pretend I was never here. She turned around happily to leave, thoughtfully pulling the door shut behind her. Leaning against it, she let out a long breath. Well, that was way too exciting. The elevator dinged. Liang Chengcheng walked out holding a medical kit. He spotted Song Wanwan right away and asked in confusion, What exactly are you doing standing out here? He glanced at the closed door behind her. Does Qingru really have a dog? Song Wanwan thought about it for a second and nodded. With a very meaningful tone, she said, Not just a dog. There's a cat too, and right now they are fighting. No rush. Let's wait for them to finish fighting before we go in. Liang Chengcheng's eyes went wide. Back inside the room, I walked out of the kitchen. Shall we continue? I was totally speechless. You still want to keep going, Chi-Chi? Chingru rolled her eyes. Oh, now you're embarrassed? You weren't this shy when we were in front of all those people before. How is that the same? That was out in the open. Now we're alone in the house and got caught. Aren't you embarrassed? Chingru really didn't understand my thought process. She just found it slightly amusing. She took my hand and gave it a gentle swing. Aren't we openly together right now? Are we sneaking around? I looked at her with absolute certainty. I honestly feel like we are sneaking around, I said. Chingru laughed at my ridiculous logic. So Chen, you just don't want to make us public, do you? As she spoke, the light in her eyes visibly dimmed. Chen still hasn't. Are you ever going to make our relationship public? Or are you just acting to trick me? I shook my head immediately. It's not me, it's you. Whenever I try to get close to you openly, you always play hard to get and push me away. But in private, you're the one taking the initiative. Doesn't that mean you're the one hiding us? I tilted my head to look at her. See, King, you won't let me near you outside. Count how many times you rejected me today. Chingru didn't expect me to flip it like that. This morning you looked annoyed just seeing me. Tonight you completely flip and come on to me. How could I dare make a move? Chingru found this genuinely hilarious. She linked her arm directly through mine, tilting her small face up to stare at me affectionately. So you're saying I should call them in right now and continue what we were doing right in front of them? Sure. Before I could even finish my thought, Chingru nodded. She let go of me. I froze. I turned, but she had already walked into the living room. She didn't actually believe I would continue doing that in front of Song Wanwan, but I didn't stop her from opening the door either. Leaving guests outside's pretty rude. I picked up my water and finished it. Over there, Chingru had already opened the door. Come in. Liang Chengcheng was clearly still totally out of the loop. He had no idea what Song Wanwan meant by all that cryptic talk about cats and dogs. He glanced at Song Wanwan's weird expression, grabbed his medical kit, and poked his head in curiously. Then he looked toward Chingru. Wanwan said your cat and dog are fighting. When did you get pets? Then he finally spotted me, sitting in the living room. He slowly realized the hidden meaning behind Song Wanwan's words. Song Wanwan, who was still waiting outside the door, let out a laugh and finally walked in. This time, when she looked at me, her smile was incredibly bright. Hello, brother-in-law. All three of us instantly turned to look at Song Wanwan. Liang Chengcheng stared at her in total disbelief, silently asking with his eyes, You're already calling him brother-in-law? Song Wanwan locked eyes with him. What do you know? You can tell Chingru is totally serious about this. Song Wanwan claimed a total victory. Defeated, Liang Chengcheng obediently followed her lead. Hello, brother-in-law. To be honest, being called that out of nowhere felt a bit awkward, but I politely replied, hello. Chingru looked at me with a gentle expression. She was clearly very satisfied with how they addressed me. You guys take a seat for a minute. Saying that, she walked toward me. Song Wanwan didn't think much of it and pulled Liang Chengcheng over to sit on the sofa. Liang Chengcheng asked, curiously, Sister Chingru, do you need a rabies shot? He suddenly tugged on Song Wanwan's sleeve, his expression turning a bit weird as he coughed slightly.
What?
Song Wanwan turned around and saw the two of us practically glued together. She instantly slapped a hand over her mouth. You opened the door just to let us watch you two be totally in love, didn't you? We're basically giant third wheels right now. The two of them stiffly turned to look at each other, clearly shocked by Chingru's bold move. Do you still think I don't want to make this public? I shook my head hard. Not at all. You are incredibly open and straightforward. A tiny hint of shyness flashed across Chingru's face. If this isn't enough, we could always go out to the living room and do it right in front of them. I instantly clamped my hand over her mouth. Terrifying. This woman was exactly as wildly unpredictable as she was in her past life. Enough, seriously, that's enough. Chingru locked eyes with me for 2 seconds. I felt something soft brush against the palm of my hand. I instinctively flinched back, totally admitting defeat. I think I should probably get that rabies vaccine first. Chingru grabbed my hand and led me away. You go take a shower first. You can't wash up after getting the shot. I froze for a second. But I don't have Chingru seem to know exactly what I was going to say. There are fresh toiletries in the bathroom. As for your clothes, I'll go downstairs and grab some for you. She went into the bathroom to set everything up. Wash up first, I'll hang them on the door handle when I get back. I nodded, then quickly reminded her, can you bring up a few extra shirts for me? Chingru smiled warmly. Sure. She turned and left, giving me some space. When she got back to the living room, the two people sitting close together on the sofa were both staring at her with very weird expressions. Chingru paused for a second. Looking at them with a completely normal expression, she asked, what are you looking at? Liang Chengcheng shook his head with a smile, while Song Wanwan raised an eyebrow. Tesk Chingru, I never knew you had this side to you. Ha ha. It was rare for Chingru to actually act shy in front of her friends. It's fine, you'll act just like this when you find a boyfriend too. Song Wanwan scoffed. I am absolutely nothing like you, okay? Chingru walked toward the door. Instead of teasing me about that guy from the Jiang family, you're different, right? Perfect, then I guess I don't need to give you his updates. Song Wanwan instantly scrambled up from the sofa. She jogged over to Chi Qingru's side and pouted. Qingru, you actually have news about Jiang Fan? Chi Qingru smiled and replied, wait a second, didn't you just say you were completely different? Why do you care about his news? I'm the same. I'm exactly like you, Qingru Fai, my sweet wonderful Qingru. Please, just tell me what you heard about him. Chi Qingru, already at the door, stopped in her tracks. She looked at her with a very meaningful expression. He's in Hong Kong, go find him. Song Wanwan instantly dropped her playful look. With absolute seriousness, she said, thank you, Qingru. After saying that, she marched right out, not wasting a single second. Sitting alone on the sofa, Liang Chengcheng stayed quiet for a moment. Then he asked doubtfully, is that guy from the Zhang family really in Hong Kong? Yeah. The moment he landed in Hong Kong this afternoon, I got the message. Pausing, she watched Song Wan disappear into the elevator. But I heard he actually went to Hong Kong with his girlfriend. Liang Chengcheng frowned deeply. Then what about Wanwan? Chi Qingrao's tone was completely calm. If she can win him back, that's on her. If she can't, she needs a reality check. After all, she was the one who drove him away in the first place. She can't blame anyone else. Not wanting to discuss it any further, she looked over at Liang Chengcheng. You sit here for a bit. I'm going downstairs to pack some things for Chen. Liang Chengcheng let out a soft sigh. Nodding, he said, all right, go ahead. Chi Qingru went downstairs. The second she opened the door, her cat sprinted right over, meowing loudly and rubbing against her legs for attention. Chi Qingru bent down and gently scratched its head. In a soft voice, she asked, why were you so mean to A Chen? The cat couldn't answer her, just rubbing its head against her palm. Chi Qingru sighed softly and patted its head. Acting cute won't work. Tomorrow I'm getting your nails trimmed. After speaking, she froze. She walked toward the bedroom, the cat following right behind her. The layout upstairs matched the downstairs perfectly. She easily found the master bedroom, pushed the door open, turned on the light, and went straight into the walk-in closet. Chi Qingrao stared at the few scattered clothes inside. She frowned. In the past, she rarely saw a Chen repeat outfits. But the few times they met this month, he seemed to wear the same few pieces. Chi Qingrao grabbed a set of pajamas for me. Pulling open the drawer, she spotted my underwear. Blushing deeply, she hurriedly grabbed a few and tossed them into the bag. Then her eyes accidentally caught a small black velvet box. Ah, I remember that box. A few days ago, Song Yi and I were at the styling studio. I was asking Song Yi next to me, isn't this too simple, too shabby? Will she even like it? Song Yi just rolled his eyes. You could give her the most expensive thing, and she still might not care. Besides, look at your current situation. The fact you're even thinking of buying her a gift right now is generous enough. I was playing the guitar. Then, I spotted Chi Qingru and instantly looked away. She didn't hear my muttering, right? But she could probably guess it wasn't anything good. Chi Qingru knew exactly who the item inside that box was for. Driven by some unexplainable emotion, she reached out and picked it up. With trembling fingers, she flipped the lid open. Inside lay a delicate hair clip. Underneath it was a folded sticky note. She pursed her lips and carefully pulled out the small piece of paper. It read, Happy birthday, Momo. Chi Qingru's heart instantly sank straight to the bottom. It was just as she expected. Even though she had known all along, it still hurt. The pain was truly unbearable. If I remember correctly, Momo's birthday was 3 days ago. Why hadn't my gift been given to her? Chi Qingru closed her eyes tightly. Shi Chen, why on earth did you choose me instead? Were you hurt so badly by Momo that you are using me as a replacement? Controlling the trembling in her fingertips, Chi Qingru placed the box back. She finished packing the bag and turned to leave. When she returned to the bedroom, the bathroom shower was still running. She hung the bag on the door handle and gave it a knock. Quickly, the running water stopped. My slightly dismissive voice called out, Qingru, is that you? She finally spoke, her voice carrying a heavy, undeniable trace of disappointment. I hung your clothes on the door. Grab them yourself when you're done. I answered back quickly. I'm almost finished washing up, she replied softly, telling me not to rush. She wanted to say something else, but in the end she just lowered her eyes and turned away to step outside. Not long after, I walked out of the bathroom and sat down right beside her. I let Liang Chengcheng give me my rabies vaccine shot. Chi Qingru watched closely, frowning. When the needle pierced my arm, the slight sting made me wince slightly. Her eyes flickered. Xiang Chengcheng couldn't stand being there another second. As a single guy, he quickly sensed the awkward tension in the room. So, after rushing through the medical instructions and next appointment date, he hurriedly said his goodbyes. I looked up at Chi Qingru, our eyes meeting. Qingru, what's wrong? I asked, clearly confused. Her entire mood felt totally off. She was perfectly fine right before I went in to take my shower. She didn't give me an answer right away. Instead, she just stared at me. What is it? I asked again. She reached out, wrapping her arms around my neck, leaning close to whisper in my ear, marry me. I was in total disbelief. Marry? She pressed closer to my ear. Let's get engaged right now. Right now? You mean this exact moment? I was completely dazed. Yes, right now. We lock it in tonight and we get our marriage license first thing tomorrow morning. She stayed pressed against my ear, asking softly, "Hey Chen, do you want to marry me or not?" I suddenly felt a wave of dizziness. Marriage. She had brought this up so many times in my past life. At first, I was terribly cold to her, and when I ended up in that horrible state later, I was even less willing. Eventually, she stopped bringing it up and just stayed quietly by my side. But I once saw a pair of custom diamond wedding rings tucked inside her study drawer. I secretly took them out and tried them on. Fit perfectly. My silence made her breath catch in her throat. The room grew so quiet I could hear her heartbeat. Her voice carried a hint of defeat. "Are you unwilling, Hens?" "Of course not," I replied instantly. "I would love nothing more." She finally dared to shift her gaze and meet my eyes. "Qingruo, I am so incredibly happy." I picked her up and spun her around in a circle right there. "I like you so much, I really want to marry you." Her heart clenched tight. If she hadn't grown up knowing exactly how much I supposedly hated her, and if she hadn't just seen that unsent hair clip, she might have actually believed me. "You huge liar," she thought to herself. Who said my acting was bad? I was playing the part perfectly, but even knowing it was all a lie, she was more than willing to accept it. She pouted her lips playfully. "You better remember what you just said. If I ever catch you lying to me," I couldn't help but press further. "Then what?" "Then I will cling to you every single day and never leave your side." My heart gave a violent leap in my chest. I was really starting to love this deeply familiar version of her again. Just as she thought her words would scare me off, I gave her a bright smile. "Deal." Then, I asked out of pure curiosity, "But you said we're locking in the engagement right now. Look at the time. It's almost midnight. How are we supposed to prepare?" "As long as you're willing, there's always time." She made a few quick phone calls. About an hour later she came back. Bags overflowing with all kinds of clothes and sparkling accessories were completely piled up in the living room. She pouted, looking perfectly satisfied. "It's too late tonight. I'll have them send more over tomorrow. These were all custom made, strictly according to your personal tastes. Pick a set to try on for our photos tomorrow." I let out a confused little "oh." She went to the room and changed into a white dress. I dug through the bags and picked out a matching outfit. We looked like a perfect couple. The doorbell suddenly rang. She walked over and gave me a soft kiss. I looked at her, clearly amused by the situation. "Go get the door. We'll have plenty of time once we're married." She nodded in complete agreement, turning around to open it. It was the wedding planners and high-end stylists. The moment the staff walked in and saw the two of us, their inner gossip radar went crazy. Before arriving, they were complaining about whoever was crazy enough to demand late-night wedding prep. Now they couldn't help but secretly guess what the real story was. Locking down a marriage this quickly? Was the internet right? Did Shi Chen actually have some kind of leverage over the wealthy heiress? The next day, while taking our registration photos at the Civil Affairs Bureau, the staff clearly recognized me. Their eyes were practically burning with juicy gossip. We sat shoulder to shoulder. She looked at me and suddenly said, "Wait." I looked at her, confused. "What's wrong?" The photographer's heart jumped straight into his throat. "Here it comes. The rich girl is backing out." Watching this live drama unfold was beyond thrilling for them, but she just gently adjusted my tie. "It's a little crooked. Let me fix it." I smiled softly at the gentle, lovely woman right in front of me. "Is it better now?" Smiling, she gave my cheek a light tap. "Perfect." I turned my head, catching the staff's utterly shocked and excited stares. I gave them an awkward little smile. They grinned right back at me. Oh, this was way too sweet. Those online internet rumors were absolute garbage. Her small face flushed slightly. She sat back down, naturally hooking her arm through mine, and told the photographer, "All right, go ahead." The staff stared through the camera lens at the two of us, their eyes literally glowing with excitement. Seeing them trending online today, everyone assumed it was just heavy photo filters. But this raw beauty hit right at the soul. My inner fanboy was screaming. Not long after, 2 little red marriage certificates were finally handed right over to us. In that exact moment, she felt completely dazed. Chen was officially her husband. With trembling fingers, she traced the cover of the booklet. She turned her head, catching me completely spaced out as I stared at my own certificate. She forced a faint smile, unable to stop herself from wondering, was I feeling more happy right now, or just annoyed? As we left the bureau, she handed out the prepared thank you gifts to all the staff members working there.
"You're too polite."
"This is just our job. Wishing Miss Chi and Mr. Shi a very happy marriage. May your love last a lifetime." Her expression grew even softer. "Thank you." When we finally got home, she saw my head still glued to the marriage certificate in my hands. "What are you looking at? Are you unhappy about this?" But I simply looked up at her, beaming. "Qingrao." She stared right back at me. "Are you cold?" I couldn't wait any longer. "Can I post this on Weibo?" She looked a bit lost. "Weibo?" I waved the marriage photo right in front of her face. I want to officially announce our marriage online. Can I?" When she first mentioned getting married, the thought hit me instantly. Wasn't this the perfect solution? As long as I tossed out the marriage certificate and went public early, wouldn't that completely take care of Sumuhei's entire situation? She honestly never expected that I would willingly go public. Of course, She sat down right beside me, but then I suddenly frowned. Wait, I don't have a phone. Song Yi has it, and my social media accounts have always been managed by him. Her eyes crinkled into a sweet smile. Then I'll post it. She snapped a few photos of the certificate and logged into a Weibo account she had never used. It didn't take long for the internet to completely explode. No matter when, no matter the season, we will never be apart until our hair turns gray. Attached was the photo of our 2 certificates. While everyone was gossiping wildly, she gave the most direct answer possible. I stared at her post, my eyes shifting slightly. Suddenly I thought, your parents still do not know we are married, do they? Xinru laughed softly, calling me hubby. My face burned instantly. She smirked. Instead of overthinking that, think about something else. I frowned, asking her what she meant. Xinru leaned in close. You need to decide if we are lounging in the living room tonight or heading back to rest. What is the difference? I asked. She just blinked. You decide. I thought for a second, then naturally grabbed her hand. Then come rest with me. She stared at our intertwined fingers. Do not regret this later, she teased. I stared blankly. Why would I regret it? That night, Xinru pulled the blanket up, wrapping herself tight without hesitation. I just watched her, completely lost. What are you doing? I asked. She replied totally deadpan, sleeping. How else do I sleep without covers? I was baffled. Weren't you resting with me? She patted the empty spot beside her. Yeah, come to bed. I stood there, totally clueless. Just sleep? Xinru looked right into my eyes. What else? Did you have other plans? We are legally married now, I blurted out. I know, she whispered. She stepped closer, gently touching the corner of my eye. You are my husband now. Whether you truly love me yet or not, you are completely mine. I swallowed hard. So you absolutely sure you just want to sleep on our wedding night? Xinru blinked up at me. Because I think you still need time to process all this. I do not want a momentary impulse. We are already married, so I am not rushing anything. I can wait until you truly fall for me. I could not read her mind, but I smirked. I do not need to prepare. Well, I need time to adapt. Give me a little time, okay? Let us just sleep. The lights clicked off, plunging the room into darkness. Hearing her soft breathing, I fully expected to be awake all night long. But wrapped in her gentle scent, I drifted right to sleep. Xinru, however, lay wide awake. She was terrified of opening her eyes and finding out this was all just a dream. Suddenly, she heard me mumbling in my sleep, crying out from a nightmare. Xinru completely froze, her blood running cold. I jolted awake, drenched in freezing sweat. My very first instinct was to frantically touch my scars. But there was nothing, just smooth skin. My heavy breathing slowly leveled out. For a terrifying second, I really thought my rebirth was just a dream. I squeezed my eyes shut, letting reality wash over me. I glanced at the empty spot beside me. She was gone. The clock read 6:30. Why was she up so early? Giving up on sleep, I threw off the blanket, walked out, and looked toward the balcony. Xinru was standing there, her back to me. I stepped up and wrapped my arms around her from behind. Why are you up so early? She stiffened for a second before turning around. Why are you awake? She wrapped her arms tight around my waist. Seeing her pale face, I frowned. Did you not sleep well? Xinru ignored the question, just staring up into my eyes. What about you? Sleep okay? My chest tightened. I shook my head. Not really. She gave a hollow smile. Why? I rubbed my temples, exhaling slowly. Had a nightmare. Xinru watched me closely. What kind of nightmare? I frowned, struggling to find the words. I dreamed about that final day. I came home, and Himomo was already waiting. She screamed at me. I confronted her about the poisoned wine she gave me, but she denied everything. She started throwing things at my head. The memory made my grip on Xinru tighten instinctively. She gently rubbed my back. It is okay. It was just a bad dream, but I knew she was not buying it. She felt my muscles lock up. The panicked words I mumbled in my sleep, the sheer terror in my tone, she had noticed it all. Xinru called my name, her voice shaking violently. She looked up at me, barely able to get the words out. Did Himomo hurt you? Did she do something bad? I stared at her. What? She gently stroked my cheek. Tell me what she did to you. Her question violently pulled me back to the horrors of my past life. I suddenly could not even look her in the eye. No. That was a lifetime ago. She already paid the price for her sins back then. As for this timeline, I was never going to let that monster near us. Her face twisted with pure resentment. Afraid I would notice, she took a deep breath to mask her anger. Good. Xinru buried her face against my chest. A minute passed before she brought up the Shi family banquet. Do you want to go? The question immediately shifted my focus. The celebration banquet? Not really. I have absolutely zero desire to see the Shi family today. Honestly, they mean less than nothing to me now. Xinrao looked up at me. If you want to go, I will gladly take you. I raised an eyebrow. She gave me a wicked, arrogant little smirk. To laugh at them, of course. I grinned. Perfect. Thinking about it, the Shi family had probably been frantically searching for me. But I ditched my phone, and they definitely lacked the guts to crash Shinru's estate. That was the only reason I was enjoying this total peace and quiet. But a confrontation was completely unavoidable. The banquet was at noon, so we had plenty of time. After breakfast, Xinru headed to her study. The internet was exploding with rumors, and her phone was blowing up with endless calls. She just turned it off, completely unbothered. Later, she called her parents touring the world and texted a few close friends. I actually went back to sleep. When I woke up, I slipped into the custom-tailored suit she ordered. The stylist immediately got to work on my hair. Jinru sat nearby, endlessly typing on her phone, focused on some mystery project. Once I was ready, I stood up and struck a pose. "Well, is your husband handsome or what?" She quickly snapped her head up, putting her phone away. Walking over to me, she flashed a proud smile and nodded. "Super handsome." Then she stepped out in a matching, breathtaking evening gown. Once she was fully styled, I just stared. I could not resist leaning down to press a soft kiss against her cheeky. "You look absolutely stunning." Standing together in the mirror, Jinru suddenly sighed. "Now I regret this. I do not want Himomo looking at you today." "Wait, no. Taking you out to show off will make everyone die of pure jealousy. You are my husband." The nearby stylists could barely hold back their giggles. They kept whispering about how incredibly sweet and perfect we looked together. Zinru's smile widened as she looked up at me. "Hear that? Everyone thinks we are meant for each other." I gently ruffled her hair. My tone held a deep, quiet devotion I had never shown anyone else before. "I only match you." I firmly grabbed her hand. In that single moment, every chain from my tragic past finally shattered. In my last life, I endured everything in total silence. Always hiding, always avoiding the spotlight. But today, I wanted the spotlight. I wanted to stand by my wife and loudly announce my absolute love to the entire world. My blunt confession painted a gorgeous red blush across her cheeks. "Then let us go right now. I want the world to see that my husband is the absolute best." I nodded, letting her pull me out the door. The second we stepped outside, we ran straight into Himomo hiding around the corner. She was dressed to kill, her makeup absolutely flawless. But her crazy, paranoid eyes were completely glued to me, practically burning with toxic obsession. She had spent months plotting against me, desperately trying to destroy my relationship with Zinru. She spread vicious rumors, set pathetic traps, and did everything in her power to forcefully wedge herself into my life. She wanted to steal the life that rightfully belonged to Jinru. How did she even have the nerve to show her face today? Seeing our fingers tightly laced together, Momo's face drained of all color, her twisted delusions finally shattering. Pure, unhinged jealousy quickly took over. She stepped right into my path, crying out, "Are you really staying with her? What does she have that I do not? I sacrificed everything for you. Why do you never even look at me?" Before I could shut her down, Jinru spoke up. "He is my husband. I am the only one in his heart. Your toxic obsession was a mistake from day one." I firmly pulled my wife behind me. My gaze instantly turned completely freezing cold. "The twisted things you did were never out of love. It was pure evil." I stared Momo down, spelling it out clearly. "You spread vicious rumors about my wife. You tried to ruin her reputation and destroy our trust. You even paid off insiders to slander our marriage. I know exactly what you did, down to the last detail. I only ignored it before to protect Zinru from your garbage. That does not mean I ever tolerated you." Momo turned completely white. She tried to deny it, but security guards suddenly stormed the hallway. The desperate people she bribed to spread the fake news had just confessed everything. The evidence was bulletproof. Her entire disgusting conspiracy had completely fallen apart. Her precious public image was entirely destroyed. Her reputation was in ashes, and all her rich social connections abandoned her on the spot. For her selfish, toxic cruelty, she paid the ultimate price, left completely isolated, despised, and entirely alone. I looked down at Chingru in my arms. The drama was finally over. Nobody could bother us anymore. She looked up at me. "No more awful days, right?" Her eyes were sparkling. I promised her our future would only hold absolute peace. A few days later, our wedding day arrived. The venue was stunning, covered in blooming flowers and bathed in warm sunlight. It was a massive celebration. Everyone who genuinely supported our marriage was there. Loyal friends who always had our backs, kind elders who watched our journey unfold, and even grateful strangers we once helped out. Genuine smiles and heartfelt blessings filled the entire crowd. Wearing my tailored groom suit, I stood at the end of the aisle, waiting quietly. Waiting for my beautiful bride. The second Chingru walked toward me in her white dress. My heart completely melted. The whole world faded away. She was my only light. Her eyes held so much love. I took her hand and spoke firmly. I told her I used to face the storms alone. I expected a cold and lonely life. "Until I found you," I said. "You taught me how to care and showed me what true devotion really means. Today I make you my wife. From this moment on, I will protect you always. I promise to cherish you forever." Chingru teared up, whispering she would stay by my side for eternity. The crowd erupted into massive applause. The energy was absolutely incredible. I slipped the ring onto her finger and hugged my bride tight. Surrounded by sunlight and blooming flowers, all the good in the world finally found us. Chingru and I are together forever, a truly perfect happily ever after.